This is called Ragman. Each city has its oddballs, its geniuses and loons, talking to their secret friends and humming unknown tunes. And every time I see one, I'm reminded of a face from my old college town, a dry and dusty desert place. And a fella we called Ragman, the strangest guy in town, and one that all the local folks regularly saw around. He lived and slept in alleys, subject of many gags, and he always had his arms and legs bedecked with long, dark, bright rags. He dug them out of dumpsters and he tied them on his body. He's a sight to see, thought a freshman me when I first saw him dressed gaudy. And the locals and the college folks would see him and gather round to enjoy the wild amusement of this crazy man they'd found. They would call out, "Dance now, Ragman," and throw quarters at his feet. And it was a strange source of income that enabled him to eat. And the Ragman would start spinning with his face up to the sky while his rags all flailed around him. This most unusual guy. Ragman, Ragman, we love to watch you dance. The way you spun in circles always left us in a trance. Your long, dark, long, thin rags in red and white flailed round you as you twirl. We'd laugh and toss you quarters and assemble where you'd whirl. That look of bliss upon your face, it made us wonder why. Are you in a world of crazy, diseased, or simply high? I lived in Albuquerque there for 5 long college years, and while the Ragman's gig kept him alive amid laughter, smiles, and jeers, and we lived and loved and learned our trades, inching onward toward our fate. And it'd sure be nice if those days didn't end, but it seems that life won't wait. And the Ragman never aged a year. He could be 16 or 62 with wild long hair and an outdoor tan and a bit effeminate too, with long dark lashes and a shy, sad smile. And he never spoke a word, but he'd curtsy and pick up his change while the crowd's applause was heard. We were glad to support this strange little man. Homeless folks should try so hard. And then he'd go buy cheap hamburgers for his performance reward. And he always found new colored rags to hang on his legs and hands. With a long, thin red rag across his brow, a colorful headband. We would always stop and take a pause when the Ragman walked our way and dig in our pants for quarters, because he always made our day. When we saw him on the street, we'd stop and call, "Hey, Ragman, dance!" And he'd raise his arms like a crucifix and began his whirling prance. Ragman, 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 how we love to watch you dance. The way you spun in circles always left us in a trance. The long, thin rags you dressed in flailed around you as you twirl. We'd laugh and toss you quarters, looking on as you did whirl. But that look of bliss on your face always made us wonder why. And what music was playing in your head, you inward turning guy? One day we heard some bad news that sadly had arrived. Someone had messed with Ragman, and it seemed he'd not survived. I guess some fools have found him late one night in an alley dark, and in their anonymity they left their evil mark. It seems they found him sleeping in his nest of colored rags and decided then to mess with him some creepy, childish gag. And they'd doused him down with gasoline there where he slept in trash, then woke him up and harassed him and tossed at him a match. I guess that Ragman squirmed and flailed the final dance he'd do. His rags, his hair went up in flames, his simple, sad smile too. And I guess that's what we humans do to those different or strange. And that darkness deep inside us seems to be something we can't change. And I wonder why, in homes nearby, no cries were ever heard. Did he ever, in his final throes, ever speak a single word? And I wonder how they lived with that when they took on their retreat, and if there was a thumbprint on that quarter at his feet. Ragman, oh poor Ragman, I remember how you danced. The way you spun in circles made them watch on in a trance with your long, thin rags of fiery flame as you flailed without a sound. And they stared and tossed a quarter as you died there on the ground. And that look of death there on your face, it makes me wonder why. How some poor jerk could be so cruel to such a simple guy. Peace. Damn.